Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Tristcast. I'm your host, Tristan Dario, and I invite you to sit back, relax, catch a vibe, and enjoy the show. Hey y'all, take a moment before you get settled. Follow the Tristcast and leave a rating. Alright, I'll see you in today's episode. Peace. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Tristcast. I hope everyone's doing well this week. Hope everyone is off to a good start in whatever they are working toward. And if you're working on any creative projects, good for you. I'm proud of you. Creating is an incredible use of our time, and no matter what it is that we put our time into, as long as we love what we're doing and we find joy in it and it brings us fulfillment, I think it's a great use of our time. I have made it farther in my book that I was talking about last week, A Wrinkle in Time, and I'm pretty much almost halfway through it at this point, and I'm liking it. It's this is actually a book that has caught my attention. With every time I've picked it up, I'm like, wow, I actually enjoy this. So that's really cool to me. I haven't read a book like that in a while. So to have one that I truly like and I can keep picking up, better than ever. I like that. But feeling a bit, groggy, or not even groggy, but just cloudy right now. I gave in to my desire or urge earlier last week, but then I tossed it out. I was talking about wanting a cigarette last week. I ended up buying a pack, and then I threw them out because I didn't want to finish the pack. I knew that it probably wouldn't be good for my health, and I just wanted to get that fix. And I see how many people take Zen or use Zen, but, the problem with Zen is, I just not a fan of that burning sensation inside my lip. So it's I don't want to do that. And I think there's just something about, hitting a vape. I was vaping for such a long time. So, to me, having a cigarette's kind of similar to that because you still pull. But I gave into it, and then I gave it up. I said, nope, can't do this anymore. Started noticing things, and that's what I like. If I can balance it out, even though it's hard to give in to something that is unhealthy for you, and then you try to be, you try to moderate it. You try to keep it at a place so that it doesn't go farther, lead into the addiction deeper. But usually that's what I do. I like to just give in so that, when I'm craving it, I give it to myself. And then when I start to notice things that I don't like, I toss them out. And I think that is my discipline. Because I do have a hard time sticking with, trying to stay away from them. But I think I'm getting stronger with each time that I fall back. The more I'm like, this just isn't worth it. And I'm just going to have to find a healthier place to get away from those urges. Or, every single time I have a craving, I have to find something that can take that craving away. Still figuring that out. It used to be gum, but now I don't like just chewing gum. And so, I try to take my mind off of it whenever it comes in my mind. But, I don't want to just go out and drive my car to pick up a pack. So, it's just I just don't want to do that. And I don't want to spend my gas to go and buy more things that will feed into an unhealthy habit or addiction. So I'm just it's better off that I, just do my best to stay away from it. And I do that very well for the most part. I don't really have to worry about it exactly, because I know how to say no. And I think just I was in a very weak spot last week. And then I was just like, I've had enough. I'm done. And yeah, I feel good about that. But some of the things I noticed when I was smoking the cigarettes was I was getting very tired, and it's still even impacting me now. I'm feeling a bit more tired, even though I haven't been getting the best sleep, which I think is a part of that. So it's like I notice these factors that start making a play on my life when I start to feed an unhealthy habit. And so that also feeds into my whole desire of like, I got to get away from this and I can say no to this. I just need to keep saying no to this. And yeah, I have been really thinking about my future and the things that I want to do. And I'm thinking about my dreams. I'm thinking about how much I just really want to make my dreams come true, how long I've been wanting to act, even if it's in a YouTube video, like a YouTube skit, or act in one of my movies that I'm writing, or just, find a way to get a manager and get myself out there and just finally be able to get on a TV screen. Like, that's something I really want to do. And every single time I think about wanting to do it and how bad I've wanted to do it for such a long time, it feels like there's something to come in and just stop me from, I got to think about this, or I'm already stuck in this. But I don't feel that I'm stuck in anything. It's like, it's this mental wheel that it's like this cog that just keeps on going, but it's a repetition of like, I want to make my dreams come true. These are the things I really want to do, but why am I thinking so much about the things that are already ahead of me? And it's because like, I need to commit to something. And I need to believe it. And I need to believe in myself. And it's going to be hard, or it's going to come with its own challenges. And then you look at how certain things are. You got to think about your future. And I'm trying to do less of that, but also be responsible. But I just don't. It's like I got a lot of voices in my head that are telling me exactly how I need to do things and what I need to do and how I need to play it safe. But I don't really want to play it safe. And I don't want to be one of those people who have all these dreams and don't do anything about them. I want to be the person in my family who gets to actually make their dreams come true. I don't want to just follow a path that was made for me by my family, or like what my family thinks I should be doing. I want to do something that I truly feel is right for me and right for my life. I want to do what is aligned with me. And I'm about to move back to Florida, and that wasn't originally what I wanted to do. And I believe one of the main reasons why is because it would be easier. And I'm trying to find jobs and stuff. I'm trying to find jobs in other places where I would be happy. But like, it's like, what am I doing? Like, what exactly am I doing? I'm thinking about going back to college. I'm thinking about having this new job in Florida. I'm thinking about moving into a place of my own in Florida. These are big things. These are things that I could be doing with my life. But then there's parts of me that is just like, why would we go and do that when we could go and work odd jobs in Oregon and just make things work there? And then I'm just like, I don't really, I could pack all my stuff up and go. But if I move back to Florida, there's things that I could lessen the load of finances that I might have. So I'm just like, what am I, like... And this is stuff that I would talk to my therapist about, obviously. This is stuff that I would talk about with people that, can give me their 2 cents, but don't know me, don't have any sort of bias towards me. And that's something I'm putting on. I'm putting on that, not even putting it on. That's wrong use of words. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go towards the direction of what is more aligned with me, because remaining aligned with my own soul's path is better than trying to make other people happy or reach other people's expectations, because I want to reach my own expectations. I don't want to reach other people's expectations. I know that brings people down and that hurts people's feelings because they think they know what's best, because they only want to be, they want us to be safe. They want us to, be guided or secure. And I think for us to really reach dreams and places that we really want to be, we have to give up. We have to not give up, but we have to sacrifice that security a little bit. Yeah, we have to sacrifice the security a little bit. And I've been doing the podcast for a little over a year and a half now. I still feel really good about it. Every single time I sit down and I pick up this microphone, it feels very nice. I feel like I'm doing something that I really care about. But I will say, getting to this point, getting to this right here can be very difficult for me, because I get so excited and it's something I really want to do. And it's not like sometimes it can feel like a job, but it's not a job. It's something that I really want to do. And I have all these plans for it and how much I want to add to this podcast. And I want to be able to really bring more of my essence into it, no matter how, it already does have my essence into it, but I want to bring more into it, and I want to transform it. I want it to grow. And, I appreciate the people that come and listen every week and listen to the episodes, listen to the old, listen to the new. I'm grateful for the people that actually give this podcast a chance. I'm grateful for the people that actually come here and care about what I have to say and listen in to what I have to say. And that means a lot to me. And I just hope that you guys can continue to show it to your friends, show off the podcast, show it to the people that you really care about, that you think if it gives you any sort of, feeling of fulfillment, I hope you can share it. And then I would love for you to share it to people that you think it would give them fulfillment as well. And for the people who listen, I'm always happy to bring on new people who have a different perspective. When I return to Florida, we have no idea what's going to happen, but we have the opportunity to grow this podcast even more, bring more people on it, and talk about different things, talk about things that really matter to us. I'm very grateful for where it's at, and I would love to take it farther. I was wanting to look at Oregon. I've been looking at Oregon for such a long time, and it just feels like that is where I'm meant to be, on the West Coast. But now it feels like I'm going back somewhere that doesn't automatically feel aligned with me. I do have many friends, and I'm excited to be with my friends and my family, and I'm excited to be around incredible people that I haven't been able to see on a daily basis in a long time. Out here being alone, it definitely has helped me gather how grateful I am for the people that I have in my life, and how much I took it for granted at a time. And maybe I'm just running away. Maybe I'm just trying to run away from it. I don't know. I can't even put my finger on it, but I do know that part of me belongs on the West Coast. I know I've wanted to be there for a very long time. I know that I wanted to be there ever since I worked out there in California. So for me, I don't as much want to live in California anymore, but I do want to be in the PNW. I talk about this very often, but it's sometimes it feels like I know exactly where I'm going, and then other times it feels like it's being swept under my feet and I'm going back a few spots. And I got to come back to this realization of where I'm meant to go and what I'm meant to do. I made this ultimatum or whatever a while ago, and it was if I get a job in Florida, that's where I'll go. But if I get a job anywhere else, I will save up my money and I'll go to where I get that job. And I've been applying for months. I've been applying to places. And, I got one place in Oregon that would have been cool, but that was back in January, and I was going on a trip overseas. So it didn't line up and it didn't work out. But I think it's also, what makes me want to go back to school is you always hear it, oh, you need a bachelor's degree to get any job. And then you're just like, so I got to go and spend money for something that I don't even know if I'm going to actually like just to get a bachelor's degree, and I've been stuck between two majors for a little while now, and I was going to go with psychology with a behavioral therapist pathway, but I've wanted to do art for such a long time, and I feel like I could do very well in art. I feel like if I have an art degree, I can learn more about creative directing, and I could do art curation, and I could just work in museums, and I can be around the inspiration that I really want to be around. And I think that's what I feel so inspired by, is because, I started this podcast because I wanted to create something. There was something in me that was burning to create something new of my own, something that is my essence, something that is going to live on and be immortalized. And the more that I make my paintings, because I haven't painted in a while, I started a new painting, but it's completely different compared to what it is that I actually have in my mind. I sit here and I feel like I try to make things for people to understand, but I know that there's so much in my brain that doesn't make sense. And I feel like if I could bring that to a canvas, there would be so much more to it. There would be so much more of me on the canvas, rather than trying to make a person who's sitting in a chair and in their thoughts. I could just make the confusion. I can make the awareness of, the things around me, but make them in my own way. And I'm trying to figure that out. And I think that's what's been my journey of my artistic creativity. It is trying to figure out who I am on the inside and being able to share it on canvas without having to get other people's approval, without trying to get other people's understanding of it, because art is subjective. It's not meant to be understood. It's supposed to make your brain think. It's supposed to get you thinking about, what was this artist thinking in their mind? How did they take what was going within their minds and put it here? And that is what's going on in my brain often of the time. And when I can sit down, turn on my music, and get to painting, I just feel a little bit better. I feel like I'm trying to make things for what people want, rather than making things that are for me and what I feel is what the world needs. And I think over this time of being alone and trying to figure out who I am more and more, because I'm only 26, and being 26, I still don't even understand who I am entirely, and I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm trying to piece myself together, and without having outside voices coming in and trying to decide who I am and decide what I do and decide how I do things, because I don't want my life decided for me. It's free will. I want to be able to figure it out and get to that place where I make my dreams come to fruition. I've always dreamt of being able to curate my friends' art and put it in exhibits and for people to see them. And I forget that I'm an artist too, and I should be wanting to do that for myself. And so, for me, it's being able to understand that I too am an artist. I too deserve to have my art see the light of the world. I deserve that. And it doesn't need to be seen by everyone, but, we live in a world of algorithms, and we live through social media for the most part, showing off our work because we need to show off our work for people to see it, and for people to see it, for us to get we have to get that light on us somehow. But I don't like working on social media, and it's just the truth. That's why I don't really post highlights of the podcast as much as it's not that I'm lazy. It's just like social media is so much of a job, in that I have to be able to put myself in place when I'm already thinking about all this other stuff that I got to do, because we have to pay our bills. We have to live. We have to survive. And for us to survive and for our art to be seen, we got to be able to afford it. But if we want our art to be seen, we got to be able to put in the time to put it out there in the world for people to see it, because it needs to be seen on Instagram. It needs to be seen on YouTube. It needs to be seen in all these different places where you can have different audiences where they can find you. But that is so difficult, and that is like, to be able to do that and to be able to have people like see it as often as you can, that's putting more of it's taking more of your hobby of being an artist and putting it more into, oh, well, I have to make sure I set time aside for my art, but also takes time aside to monetize it and put it out there for people to see. And I got a comment on a couple episodes ago on YouTube from someone, and it was over my thumbnails. I'm not the best at thumbnails. I'm trying my best to get better at these kind of things and become better at graphic design. I'm not passionate in graphic design, but I know I want to create things that are more cool and fun, and I want people to be able to align with it because it's something I align with. And so I have this thumbnail that was just the podcast cover. It's just the Tristcast podcast cover. That was my thumbnail for the longest time. Then I get a comment and it says, you need to make this more interesting and make it jump out to the audience for people to see it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So I go on Canva and I make a new thumbnail. I have friends' advice and they like it. They think it looks pretty. They think it looks cool. I like it a lot too. I think it's a better idea of who I am. And, that's something I'm trying to do. It's something I'm trying to get better at. I'm trying to at least get really good at this podcast and get good at monetizing it, or getting good at, putting it out there for people to see. And I also don't want to lose that passion of making my own art, though, because I love putting paint on a canvas. I love creating my own stuff. I love the idea of being seen for my art. And there's so many people that are so good at just putting out stuff. And I don't know if I'm that good at it. I think I'm just average at times, but really, I know that I'm growing into the artist that I'm meant to be. And I think if I just give myself time and I'm patient with myself, it'll transform on its own. But I get scared. I get scared that I'm putting all this effort into something and it's not going to go anywhere. I'm putting all this time and effort into something that doesn't get seen as much. And it's not to be seen, but it's like, it's for me. But I'm trying to find my community. I'm trying to find my own people. And it feels like the more I put it out there, it's like less like acknowledged. And that can really put me down as an artist. And I'm not trying to justify how I do my art and what I'm doing my art for, but it's more like I make art for people to see it, for people to know, not even to see it, to see me. I make art for people to see me. And for me to see myself on a canvas, on a video, on something that I'm passionate in. And I'm trying to find the community that I can be thrusted in, and I could be around my kind of people, and I can be around the people that raise me up and raise up my art without fear of me neglecting them, or without fear of me not being good enough or me being right enough. And I think this all is just my way of growing through becoming the artist that I am, becoming a more polished mosaic that I am. And it's hard because I know I'm succeeding, and I know I'm getting there, and I know I'm doing exactly what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And some days I don't try hard enough. Some days I'm not trying hard enough, and I know I need to put in more effort, but I'm tired. And I'm exhausted. I want to focus on doing a good job in work, and I want to make my money so that I can afford to get a new camera and add a new perspective and get new equipment so that I can less holding the mic, or little things, or upgrading my computer and being able to use different software, or this or that, or put time into making music because I know I'm passionate about making music. I know I haven't made music in so long. Or actually make enough money to where I can sit down and not worry about all these other responsibilities and be able to write, because I've been trying to write a screenplay for a little bit now, and I'm halfway through it. I know if I do 60 more pages, I'd have a full movie's long worth, and I just had an incredible idea to add to the screenplay, so I'm going to get started on it. But I have this overwhelming feeling like I can't just sit down. And I think that's because of my ADHD. And to be able to have myself sit down for long periods of time without fear of not being productive or not adding to society, that stops me from being able to create. But what I've been seeing a lot on my feeds lately is, to be creating and to be putting my art out into the world is to be adding to the world. It's to be adding myself to the world. And maybe it's just a mentality thing that I need to switch. And it's like turning off the switch that's telling me my art isn't what the world needs, and switching on my art is what the world needs. And it's difficult to be able to do that when I'm a very productive person and I'm a worker and I'm worried about how my future's going to look. But then I get these little bits of scripture that always tell me, it's like, don't worry about wanting money, because wanting materials are only going to hold me back from being able to be present with what I have and being grateful for what it is I have already. And this is working as is. My phone works. My Focusrite works. My laptop still works incredibly. Like, for a computer that I've had for almost 2 years or 2 years now, it works pretty damn good. So, I mean, I think that a year and a half. I think I've had the laptop for a year and a half now. But to my point, it all works. And I don't need to upgrade or throw this in or throw this out or switch it all. I mean, the extra camera right there would be good for when I bring on my co-host, because I will have a co-host by the end of this year for the podcast. And no matter if it's going to fluctuate or who it's going to be, it's my choice on who I want to have in my seat with me. But I know that it's going to be its own thing. I know that being an artist, in a journey through being an artist, it fluctuates, and who we are and who we become changes over time. So I think the more that we are stressing, or at least the more I'm stressing about where my art's going or where I'm going in my art, the less that I can put into it. That's the less energy, or like if I'm trying to remain at a frequency of abundance, I have to continue believing that everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to. And I am the artist that I'm meant to be. And I think that's why I've been really enjoying A Wrinkle in Time. The main character, Meg, she doesn't recognize that she is a very smart person and that she has so much to bring to the table. But because of this lack of belief on how other people view her and what other people say about her, it holds her back from seeing her true light. And, I align with it. I resonate with it. I resonate with someone who's having trouble believing in themselves and believing what it is that they are or who they are. And, I'm very confident in myself for what it's worth. It's just, I think when it comes to certain aspects of who I am and what it is I make, I think I find trouble in being able to put it out into the world unapologetically, without fear of it being twisted and turned into something that it's not. When in most of my mind, I don't give a fuck what other people think or what people think of me, but because it gets twisted in my mind and my ego gets scared, it's like as much as I align with not giving a shit what other people think of me or what people think of my art or how people like it or dislike it, it's more about how it needs to reach or, make people comfortable. And I don't want to make people comfortable because half the time I'm uncomfortable with other people, with how they do things. And it's my job to voice myself and talk about what makes me, tick, or how I can put my stuff out there. And I should be unapologetic about that. And if people see it as being selfish or hurtful or whatever the fuck they want to put their term on, or what term they want to place onto it, this is me. And what I'm making is for me. And what I'm making is what I believe the world needs. And there is someone out there that's going to watch this episode and they're going to say, holy shit, I resonate with this, and I think that's what it's worth. If this helps one person, that's all that matters to me. If I can get a comment that says, bro, I'm so grateful that I got to listen to this, I would be ecstatic, and I'd say this is still doing something. Every single time someone leaves a comment and someone subscribes saying this is what I really needed, the more I realize that it's growing. Piece by piece, the community is growing piece by piece. And I think it's the long term. I can be impatient. I can really want to force things sometimes, and I can really want to rush through things sometimes. But I recognize if I rush, I may not be ready. And if I'm not ready, I'll take it for granted. I won't give it the respect it needs or what it deserves, mostly. And so, art is a piece of us. Art is what's going to help us approach the world and for people to see us as we are. And we shouldn't put something out that is trying to make people comfortable or, be like what is socially accepted. It should be us unapologetically. It should be us not giving a fuck what other people think. And it should test people's thoughts. It should test people's feelings. It should definitely get people upset. That's the whole point of art. And when I finally get to act and I'm seen on TV and I'm seen in movies for who I am and what kind of person I am, and when I am seen and I'm given that I am looking to achieve, I know that everything that I've gone through would have been worth it. Everything would have been worth it to reach every goal, to reach every goal that I've placed for myself, and to reach a point where I've turned my dreams into fruition, or I've made my dreams come to fruition. I would recognize that everything that I have done, everything that I have experienced, everything that I have gone through has all led to that moment. Everything is happening now. Everything is happening now. Everything is here. And it's in this moment. And it's less worrying about when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, or what's going to happen. It's more about it's all happening right now. I'm making what I'm supposed to be making. I don't have to stress about what I'm not making. I can be proud of myself now, and I can just allow things to be. And that's difficult. That's difficult for me. And one day I'm going to get to go to several different Formula One races because I'm so in love with Formula One. I have been so interested in this sport for such a long time, to go to several different tracks and to be around all these incredible people who love watching these Indy cars, these hyper cars going around a track seconds. It would make my heart burst in joy to be able to experience Formula One racing and to be around all these incredible racers. And I just watched the 24-hour Le Mans, and Ferrari won yet again, dude. To be able to witness that would be incredible. It would be incredible to be able to see these incredibly fast cars going across a track, being around other individuals who love the same thing. I've had 2 dreams in the last 6 months of me going to Formula One races. And they say if you have a dream more than once, it's bound to happen and bound to come true. And I think that would be incredible to experience and to be able to be there are incredible people. I can't think of his name right now. I just saw him on Instagram yesterday. He's one of... I should know his name. But because I'm in the middle of talking right now, I can't think of it, but it's okay. It will come up in a future episode. I'm just happy that I finally get to talk about Formula One because I'm really into it, and I've been slacking on being able to talk about the things that I really like. I don't talk about often the things that I really like because I'm very focused on wanting to put out stuff that I think would be helpful. But I know one of the ways that I can grow my community is to talk about things that I really like, and Formula One's one of them. I'm obviously into writing and being able to be into movies and watching old films, going to the movies, and I love being able to be in the presence of art. That's why I love museums and I love going to museums. That's why I love the idea of being an art curator or having my art in a museum for people to come and see. One day that's going to be me. I'm going to find myself and I'm going to be able to let go of the expectations. No matter how close I am right now, no matter how far I am right now, I'm letting go of the expectations and I am finding myself artistically. And that is something very important to me. And this driver's name is on the tip of my tongue. I don't understand why. Nope. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe. Wow, it's crazy. He was just on Hot Ones. And that's what really is aggravating me because I just watched it. It's one of my favorite episodes. But it's okay. Nope. Yeah, dude, you would think that I would know this shit by heart, but of course, it's on the tip of my tongue too. I can't believe they just had Will Smith on that show, but hey, that's it. There he is, Lewis Hamilton. I don't know why his face was in my mind, but obviously he's one of the top racers right now. But he's definitely someone that I like watching. And then there is Ricardo on Red Bull. He's really cool. He's a nice racer, but he's nowhere close to as good as I don't know. I don't want to start anything, but Hot Laps, I think that's Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo is another racer that I really like to watch. It's not that he's not let me retract my statement. It's not that he's not as good as Lewis Hamilton. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that teammates of his get him into shit that's like it's crazy. Most of the videos I see about Ricardo racing, it's like his teammates are not respecting him on the track, and he wins. Like he gets good placements, and he's not a bad driver. He's a really good driver, and he's one of those people that if you have the opportunity to sit down and talk to, that's like really dope, and it's an incredible opportunity. So I just want to put it out there for the record. Daniel Ricciardo is an incredible racer. The fact that he can drive a hypercar and he can even be on that track at all just tells how good of a racer he is, and his opportunity to be there is incredible. Lewis Hamilton, he's just a number one to me. Like he's one of my favorite racers. So, I feel like a lot of people like Lewis Hamilton because he is a very good racer. But yeah, dude, Formula One is one of my favorite things to watch and to be able, so one of the games that I play that in Gran Turismo. I love racing games, and I love being able, like my whole family, not my whole family, but my dad's side, me, my older brother, and my dad, each have this love for racing. We have this love for going fast and that adrenaline to just push. And that's something I would love to do if I ever had the opportunity. But if it's ever in the cards in the future, I'll do it. But I'm 26 years old. I feel like this is the time where I would probably be trying to do something like that. But I don't even have any sort of training or, if I could start at, if I could start with, go-karting and just get up in sponsorships with go-karting, that would be really dope. But then I'd have to put money into buying my own car, and then I'd have to get a sponsor, and then this and that and this and that and this and that. But it would be an incredible journey. It'd be something cool. But, to think, if you're an artist and you're trying to race and you're trying to do a podcast and all this and all that, you got to pick one, because several of those, especially, racing in general. That's why I really like that I can just play Formula One and race on my PlayStation if I really want to. Like, that's good enough to me, because tournaments and stuff like that you can do online. But it's like, really at the end of the day, you got to pick what feels more aligned. And I have these hobbies. I have these things that I really enjoy. But, I feel more aligned with art, and I feel more aligned to be able to express myself. And that's been a goal of mine, to be able to express myself fully, authentically, unapologetically, without anyone's voice being able to come in and try to, sway me. It's more about being able to do what I feel is right for me and what I feel most aligned to. But yeah, I believe so. Le Mans ended earlier today, and car number 50 crossed the line at 24 hours, 1 minute, 55 seconds. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But very cool stuff. I really like it. I feel like I need my glasses on. Just needed to make sure. But yeah, I'm finding myself, and it can be difficult, and I'm figuring out what it is I'm trying to do and where I'm supposed to go. So I'm going to do what feels aligned and what is the path, and I'll go that direction. I need to really think about this. If I want to do art, I should just commit to it. And I think that's what I sometimes have a hard time doing, is committing. Sometimes I have a hard time committing to things, and I feel very passionate about, I feel very proud of myself about the podcast, and I'm passionate about the podcast. So I feel like the fact that I've remained committed to this and I've been able to remain consistent with this, that I'm very proud of myself for that. And I know I can do this. I know that I can commit to something, but I also need to believe in it. I need to believe in myself. I need to believe that I'm doing exactly what it is I'm meant to do, without fear of the judgment, without fear of being misunderstood, without fear of someone trying to place their own idea of who I am or what I am or what's going on in my life out there on the table. I just need to let people talk, and I just need to let myself be myself and not even worry about what other people are saying or what other people think or what other people feel. It's, I'm an empath. I'm going to care about what other people, I'll care about other people. I'll care about how they feel and stuff, but that's different compared to my art. My art is going, and is supposed to get you thinking. And if it upsets you, it's probably doing its job. And I believe that. But yeah, I am very proud of myself. I'm proud of where I'm going. I'm proud of myself for asking myself these questions and actually being introspective, because I would rather follow the beat to my own drum than try to follow other people's and be like other people, because I'm not here to be like other people. I'm just not. I'm here to be myself. I'm here to be Tristan. I'm here to be whoever my soul is, and I'm happy with that myself. I'm happy with the fact that I'm able to say no to certain things and I can put time into myself. And at least I can fucking say that I am battling an addiction and I'm trying my best to put my health first while also enjoy life and give into the cravings sometimes. You know, people will look at me and they'll say whatever they want and say this or say that. But dude, at least I'm doing something that I care about. At least I'm doing shit that I love. And if people don't understand that, if people just want to have some whatever fucking thing to say, I feel like that's something to do with them and has nothing to do with me. And I'm going to continue to be me. And if I lose followers for it, if I lose listeners for it, if I lose friends for it, if I lose family members for it, I feel like I'm doing what's right for me and my life and the people that I care about. And if it's not seen as that, then I don't know what else to do. It's not my job to make sure everybody else is happy about things. Because if it was my job, I wouldn't put any time into myself. And that's what I need to do. To find who I am, to figure out who I am. And I'm not sorry about that. I'm not sorry to the people who think I'm letting people go or walking out of people's lives. I got to do my own thing and I got to figure out my path, whether or not that's understood or whether or not people get it or not, you know? Some people have a natural understanding of how life should work. I'm figuring out how my life works. And it's not easy. Especially sometimes when you feel alone. Especially sometimes how my brain can tell me I'm alone. But I'm not alone. There's several people that I know. There's several people out in the world that I don't know that are going through different things as me. And they can feel alone more than me. But they continue to push forward in what they care about and what they believe in. And as long as we continue to fight for what we believe in, and if we actually have something that we believe in and that we believe is worth fighting for, I think we're going to succeed at protecting it. We're going to succeed at building the community that is meant for us, for sure. But I think this is a great place to stop. I think this is a great place to really reflect. So I hope for the rest of the day, if you're going through something that's helping, if you're going through anything or you're trying to figure out who you are and you're trying to let go of the expectations other people place on you, I ask that you reflect. Take this episode to reflect on how you in your own personal life are trying to move forward and trying to find yourself and how hard it is. And leave a comment if you feel that it is difficult for you and you're trying to find that community too. Because we're all looking for it. But I would rather you reach out and I'd rather you tell me what you think. Rather than not saying anything at all. But yeah. With that, I would like to say, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful evening, and a wonderful night. Peace.